For over a decade now, we've been flooded with propaganda about learning how to code. And a lot of that is because of code.org, a nonprofit focused on getting computer science classes into K-12 classrooms. In 2013, code.org posted its first ever YouTube video. I had been thinking about this video a lot recently, especially as I was making the last couple YouTube videos. And I couldn't help but think, man, there were definitely some things in there that were just portrayed completely inaccurately. This is merely brainwashing to get kids to learn how to code so that big tech can just increase the supply of people that come work for them. So after working in tech for some time, I want to go through this video and see just how much of it is complete bullshit. All right, let's start with the thumbnail. Okay, we've got, let's see, 5 white guys, 2 black guys, and 2 white girls. Wow. I mean, you know, if you took the 2 black guys and made them Indian and made one of the women a man, then it would be pretty accurate, I'd say. Also, let's evaluate the lineup here, okay? We got Bill Gates, we got Jack Dorsey, we got Mark Zuckerberg, Will.i.am. Candidly, I don't know who the next 2 people are. And Chris Bosch. What the f? We got an NBA player and we've got a musician in here, okay? I'm thinking we're gonna get some kind of motivational speech, like, what most schools don't teach is courage. I can't think of another feasible explanation Chris Bosch and the Zuck would be in the same room for anything. Like, what is this squad? Dude, what the f? I'm very confused, but I'm intrigued. All right, let's watch this thing. Oh, but first, let me crack open my bev. Cherry limeade poppy, not sponsored, just addicted. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that beverage solved all my problems. Okay, let's watch this thing. Okay, everybody in this country should learn how to program a computer because it teaches you how to think. Okay, I don't know about this one.
I was 13 when I first got access to a computer.
My parents bought me a Macintosh in 1984 when I was 8 years old. I was in 6th grade.
Okay, so I see what they're doing here, okay? They're getting these very successful people to come on here and talk about their origin story with the code. Pretty good marketing tactic, I must say.
In your first semester, intro to computer science.
Now, I find this use of titles very interesting. I mean, when you're in K-12 schools, when you see VP at Dropbox, you don't really know what that means. If anything, you probably think this person's like super important. They're clearly trying to show that learning to code can put you in these very aspirational positions. When I see VP at Dropbox now, I'm like, ugh. Being a tech VP is super stressful, and I don't think people realize that, especially a VP of engineering. And knowing that the end result of this is just pure corporate is like, ugh, like why are we shoving this down kids' throats? That makes me sick. Anyway, moving on.
I wrote a program to play tic-tac-toe.
I think it was pretty humble beginnings. I think the first program I wrote asked things like, what's your favorite color? Or how old are you?
I first learned how to make a green circle and a red square appear.
They're trying to make it sound very beginner friendly. You know, it's good that they're not like gatekeeping it to make it sound really hard. Even though it gets hard, but like, I don't know. Let's keep watching.
Learning how to program didn't start off as...
Dude. Wow, I almost didn't recognize this dude. Big Zuck has changed so much. After watching this video, I feel like I'm appreciating Mark Zuckerberg's glow up more. This guy looks great, dude. Good for him. I mean, even the speaking, dude. Wow, dude, this guy, I mean, because I'm looking at this guy talk and I'm like, I actually, you know, I actually don't know if I want to code anymore.
I wrote this little program and then basically just add a little bit to it. And then when I needed to learn something new, I looked it up either in a book or on the internet and then added a little bit to it.
Look it up in a book or on the internet and then add it to the code. Look it up on the internet or read a book or look it up in a book and update the code. Wow. He is grossly oversimplifying how it is for the average coder to learn how to code. If you're doing anything technical that requires coding, you're going to have to be obviously spending lots of time on the internet looking up just how to do shit. Like, there's no way you can just come into it mastering it all at once. And even the people online are debating about how something's supposed to work or how something doesn't. Like, Everything's broken, okay? And that's the reason why you have to do so much Googling and so much research and reading and trial and error and debugging. And you gotta love being in the trenches. He is a little bit making it sound like it's just reading out of an instruction manual and kind of making it sound like this seamless process. And it's really anything but that. It's one of the most frustrating, finicky processes ever.
It's really not unlike kind of playing an instrument or something, or playing a sport. It starts out being very intimidating, but you kind of get the hang of it over time.
Out of context, Chris Bosch.
Coding is something that can be learned.
Oh, they're interviewing him without even hearing him saying a word. I know they paid this motherfucker a lot, and that is why we're seeing his face here.
Something that can be learned, and I know it can be intimidating. A lot of things are intimidating, but what isn't?
A lot of the coding that people do is actually fairly simple. It's more about the process of breaking down problems than, sort of coming up with complicated algorithms.
Oh my god, dude. Look at this fucking code. They are literally making it look like coding is just move, turn left, move. This is one of the most misleading things I've ever seen. This isn't really teaching you how to think. This is just a gross oversimplification of what it means to program. Like, I'm not just talking software engineering programming, okay? I'm talking like R, SQL, like anything where you're programming something. It's never gonna look like this.
You don't have to be a genius to know how to code. You need to be determined.
I mean, part of it's determination, but I actually think it's just dissociation. If you're gonna be sitting here spending hours breaking things and fucking reading code docs all day, in order to live through that level of frustration, I think you just have to be a little soulless. But hey, that kind of marketing isn't gonna pay Big Zuck's bills, all right?
You don't have to be a genius to know how to code. You need to be determined.
Addition, subtraction, that's about it.
You should probably know your multiplication tables.
The escalation here is crazy. You just need to be determined. Adding and subtracting is probably enough. You should probably know your multiplication tables. I'm having a hard time gauging exactly how much arithmetic knowledge I'm gonna need for this profession.
You don't have to be a genius to code. Do you have to be a genius to read?
Even if you want to become a race car driver or play baseball, all of these things have been turned upside down by software.
What's the angle here? Is it like, oh, well, if you learn to code and you want to be a baseball player, but you fail at it, at least you know how to write software for baseball? Could you imagine being some kid's coach? Like, Tyler, let me tell you something. You will always be my QB1. But I think in college, at best, Tyler, you're a QB 10, but I saw you've been taking those computer science classes, and I'm looking for some HTML developers just to like update the website, with all the updated game times and schedule and stuff, weather delays and what have you. Tyler, can you please help me code the football team's website, Tyler? Like, what the fuck? I feel like this is very subtly saying, if you fail at achieving your dreams, at least you can code. At least you can be a fucking software engineer.
What it is, computers are everywhere. You want to work in agriculture? Do you want to work in entertainment? Do you want to work in manufacturing? It's just all over.
What is going... What? Oh, now they're flying... Oh. A robot, iMac in a hospital... I'm just a little confused here. Like, is this like a really sick looking lawnmower? Is it a UFO with wheels? I mean, dude, I'm really confused what purpose this vehicle is serving in what looks like just a field. I mean, I can't even tell what plant that is. It's not corn, but it's just about as fields come.
Depend on technology to communicate.
What the What is this guy doing here? I just don't. I'm having a hard time imagining how much this guy actually thinks about code and computers. That's about the most software engineering looking ass team I've ever seen, so they got that part down.
Our policy is literally to hire as many talented engineers as we can find. The whole limit in the system is just that there just aren't enough people who are trained and have these skills today.
To get the very best people, we try to make the office as awesome as possible.
Okay, dude. Oh my god. Okay, so I mean, I definitely can say that this marketing tactic really worked. This kind of stuff spurred a movement where thousands of people went to go work for this guy, Mark Zuckerberg, and all these other big tech companies. I'm struggling with this office reel because, I don't know, like any vulnerable high school kid will look at us and be like, ooh, wow, scooters. Who's going to tell him that no one ever has time to ride those? If anything, these next two shots are very, very accurate. You're just sitting on your ass all day, and that's it. No one's talking. Like, that's what this career is. All those random meetings, I mean, minus everyone being in such a good mood. I mean, that's not accurate. Okay, again, like this obsession with transportation, that might be like the 7th shot in this video of some kind of vehicle. I mean, we got the ripstick in there, we got the bikes. They're trying to make it look like these companies are a place to come and be creative and be yourself and self-expression and all that good stuff. And if anything, it actually just drains one of the self. Oh, look at that, dude. They're making work look so relaxing, okay? Like, look at this person just laying here, just sticking out her feet for free. This video should have a paywall in front of it. They're making work look like a resort when this person's probably actually fairly stressed out. These moments are very rare working at these big tech companies. And also, the further we get into this video, I'm starting to feel like this whole thing is really just an ad to come work for big tech. Because I mean, big tech, if you didn't know, are the biggest donors to code.org. And you know, you might be wondering why they would donate so much. Well, obviously, they want to get computer science in every classroom in America. And why do they want to do it so bad? Because we want to solve all these cool problems? No, they are donating it because they want more people to come solve their problems so they can make more money. So I feel like we're just watching a Facebook careers video now. Anyway, yeah, big tech, not this relaxing. Moving on. I love that right before it pans over to the cafeteria. Hold on. Gotta get it. Oh, eat!
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Free laundry.
Snacks. Even places to
the ping pong table no one ever uses.
These kind of interesting things around the office and places where people can play or relax or go to think or play music or be creative.
Go think or go play music or be creative. I don't know about that. I mean, I've been to these offices before. I don't know about all that. Like, one, I feel like most of these companies and really most corporations in general just have these like old douchey VPs walking around all over the place who just don't want to be seeing stuff like this. There is a pressure to feel like you are being productive. Like, it is work at the end of the day. They use this to make the volume of work seem less daunting. I don't know. I never got to work at an office like this, so maybe I'm just being a fucking hater, but I have visited these offices before and they were not like that. I can tell you that.
I think if someone had told me that software is really about humanity, that it's really about helping people by using computer technology.
This is such a overgeneralization of what it's like to work in this field. Learning how to write code, whether it's to build software or to scrape data or whatever the fuck it is, it's almost never about solving anyone's actual problem or helping someone directly. No, it's like I mentioned a couple videos ago, this problem has already been solved and they are being helped by anyone but a software engineer. Even if you work in one of the human-facing jobs in this industry, it's not for humanity. It's something that is there purely for the intention of making money. And no, not to discount all the amazing innovations that have really changed the way we live in the last 10 years, okay? I get it. Like, I can't fucking live without Amazon and Uber and all that shit. But as someone who's worked in the industry, I can see why they are marketing it to you like working in software, and especially working in a programming role, you're gonna be doing something good for humanity. They are saying it like that because it's, well, most of the time it's not actually like that. Actually, almost 100% of the time it's not actually like that.
To be able to actually come up with an idea and then see it in your hands and then be able to press a button and have it be in millions of people's hands.
You know, I think the saddest part about that clip is that this guy actually knows what he's talking about. Like, this guy actually knows his shit. Okay, this is a programmer in the flesh. There is no way this guy said this on his own accord. This is puppetry at its finest. If you can just, have an idea and then it's in your hands and then you press a button and then it's in millions of people's hands. Oh, holy shit, man. Like, press a button and it's in millions of people's hands? Again, the fact that this is being shoved down the throats of people like me back in 2013, like high schoolers, middle schoolers, elementary schoolers. It just feels a little bit like brainwashing kids into learning a skill so that they can come work for them. The beginning of this video was talking about everything in our society is going to be driven by code, and we need to solve the problems with code. Everybody with every skill and every passion needs to learn how to code. Oh, and here we are at the end basically saying, oh, well, no, you should come work for us. That's weird, man. I don't know. They're not even really providing any real ideas of how this can be applied to anything else.
Just to think that, I mean, you can start something in your college dorm room, and you can have a set of people who haven't built a big company before come together and build something that 1 billion people use as part of their daily lives is just crazy to think about, right? It's
really selling this dream of entrepreneurship that is very out of reach for a lot of people. Like, mind you, Mark Zuckerberg was able to learn how to code because he grew up fairly wealthy, could afford computers, that could afford supplemental studies to get into good colleges and things like that. Those are the kids that will mostly benefit from this kind of propaganda. Those are the kinds of kids who will be able to get in their dorm room and start a company, pull a company out of their asshole and fart out this $10 billion company. Just knowing how to code isn't going to unlock this for people. And also, why are we assuming that every cool idea started in a dorm room has to start from code? It doesn't always have to be a software product. It can be anything. Just be specific, okay? Like, don't say that this is going to help you achieve your dreams. This can be used to achieve some kinds of dreams and build some kinds of companies and solutions for the world. This is misleading, okay? Again, this is for kids. They're gonna see this kind of thing and be like, oh, like, change the world? Gotta code. It's not how the world worked in 2013, and it still doesn't work like that 11 years later.
The programmers of tomorrow are the wizards of the future. You know, you're going to look like you have magic powers compared to everybody else.
I think it's amazing. I think it's the closest thing we have to a superpower.
I will say, knowing how to code and having gone through all the training and all that, I do think I greatly benefited from that. But does that mean people like me are the only people that can be rock stars, that can be wizards? No, dude. And I feel like this kind of rhetoric is what makes people who go into software engineering, who go into coding, people in tech, douchey and kind of out of touch with the outside world. Yes, we're solving some important problems, but fucking climate change activists are solving important problems. Women's rights activists. I could sit here and list off any kind of movement. A lot of the stuff they said about coding is true and probably will help a lot of people. And I do think code.org did encourage a lot of people to get into it, including me, for better or for worse. Mostly for the worst, but rock stars are not just programmers. They're the people persons, the sales people, okay? They're the customer success people, the marketing people, the researcher people, the teachers. Being able to appreciate these people's skills and work with them and not feel like anyone is below me because they don't have a certain skill. Like that is so missing from the culture in this industry, and it almost makes it like gatekeepy, and I feel like that is kind of counterproductive to this whole movement. That's the kind of thing that makes people not want to get into tech or into software engineering, because we have kind of developed this reputation that we're out of touch douches. And the worst part is it's so true, man. This movement feels like a couple things to me. One, it's big tech's way of looking really good by investing in nonprofits, and two, it's just a way for them to get more engineering talent. I feel like a lot of the promises that this video made were not fulfilled based on my time working in tech and from talking to other people I know at other companies. I feel like what you see now in the tech industry, at least what I've seen, is that there's so many people with actual interests, like real passions and interests in art and science and politics, music, and man, all these amazing things. And I feel like there's a whole generation of people who were brought up in this movement like I was, and they don't know what to do with themselves because they've been programmed. They were programmed into thinking that this is the best career and the only career, and that's just so stupid. And I actually feel like this is just holding back the industry so much. But it doesn't just hold the companies back, it holds people back. I don't know, I'm sure a lot of young people are gonna be seeing this video and thinking, okay, well, should I not learn how to code? No, okay, go check it out, see what you think. Take advantage of free things like code.org, but when you get fed content like this, like learning to code makes you a wizard, makes you better, makes you a fucking rock star, okay, chill out with that. You're not a fucking rock star, okay? You're just as much of a rock star for having this skill as someone who has the skill of playing violin or painting or history or whatever. All right, that's all I got today, guys. So if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button, all that good shit. Got a lot of exciting projects on the way. Oh, by the way, I think a lot of you don't know that I do Instagram and TikTok. Like that's actually where I got my start. I have a pretty big following over there. You know, I make skits about working in tech and being a young adult and all that good stuff. Go check it out. We're having a good time over there too. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'm out.
I was caught up in a situation, could have gone real bad. I took a long vacation, no doubt.